Hey guys, welcome into Rhill World. I'm your host, Randall Hill, aka Rhill One, and man, do we have a big show for you today. I apologize getting this out a little later than I would like to. Been fighting a little bit of a head cold past 4 or 5 days. Feel like I'm on the end of it now. Either which way, I'm all drugged up, ready to go. So if you hear a little sniffling or voice might sound a little different, or I might have to sneeze or something in the middle, I apologize ahead of time here. But man, a big show for you today. There's some stuff going on in Minneapolis that we've been covering, a lot of fraud going on there. We're going to talk a little bit of Crockett news, boat strikes going on. They've arrested the pipe bomber. So, and then we're going to talk a little bit about blue slips and, killing the filibuster, as I've been saying now for, the past month or so. This is not something we should just let go. So big show for you today. Even though I'm under the weather, I am more than excited to be with you today. And I can't thank you enough for being here today with me. So without further ado, let's get into it. Are you ready? It's time to get real. First off, I just wanted to start the show off on our spotlight on New York and Mamdani. We didn't do a segment last week. There is some things to talk about and his transition team. New York Mayor-elect Mamdani. There's been some questionable picks with his transition team, but one that I did want to touch on was a rapper who did 7 years. Yes, Mayor-elect Mamdani has picked a controversial rapper who did 7 years in state prison for armed robbery to advise him on the criminal justice system. Yes, you cannot make this stuff up. His homie from Cell Block C, my son Lennon, or Lennon, however you say that, I don't know, age 49, a Bronx convict turned activist who was found guilty of 2 felony heists in the late 1990s, was appointed by Mamdani to sit on his mayoral transitions Criminal Legal System Committee. Yes. Just one of many questionable picks that we will cover on a later date. But hearing from Lennon, this is just a quote coming from him. This is a testament to our decades of work advocating on behalf of Black and Brown communities and our expertise in gun violence prevention. Legislative advocacy and criminal justice reform. Yes, that is a quote from newly appointed Lennon on his Instagram last month. And he also put on there, "We are building something different." Lennon was a promising young rapper when he was convicted in 1999 for being a part of a crew that robbed 2 cab drivers in the Bronx. Yeah, so one of the many reasons why we're going to go ahead and keep our spotlight on New York and Mayor-elect Mamdani as he takes over. It's less than a month away here. We're about 3 weeks away from him officially taking over. And, we're already starting to see what that's going to look like. As if crime isn't bad enough in New York, let's get ready for the social workers. I do not know what that is going to look like, but I can assure you from the look of things, not looking good. Speaking of socialist, communist pricks, Jacob Frey is in the news. Yes, if you don't know the name, that is the mayor of Minneapolis. Yes, he's making news. Hilarious news out of Minneapolis. This piece is the fraud and everything that's taken place under this man's nose, and many others in the Minneapolis and Minnesota region is not so funny. But here he tries some Somali food for the first time. Little piece of advice, like they say in court, don't ask questions that you don't already know the answer to. A little piece of advice: if you're trying to do a publicity stunt to try to impress a group of people, maybe know what you're doing ahead of time. Here he attempts to try Somali food for the very first time in front of cameras, and it couldn't be more hilarious. Let's take a look.
Jacob fry or cunaya. Jacob, hey?
Try it. Can I try it?
Yes, try it. Mix it.
Look at his face. How much is that food?
Right here. It's delicious.
What is that?
This is ambulo. What do you say? Ambulo.
Ambolo.
This guy's like this freaking
Mayor
idiot.
ka Minneapolis waxa uu caawa ku casheynayaa ambulo kalkalka reer koonfur galbeed. Waa kana.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you cannot make this stuff up. Jacob Frey, along with Governor Walz and Ellis and the whole team up there, going to be facing some indictments here pretty soon. But, a little light on the fire before everything goes up in flames, as Minnesota has, just become a part of the latest indictments that are going to be brought because of fraud. A lot of fraud going on in Minnesota over the past few years, mostly dedicated to the Somali crowd. President Trump has been outspoken about it, as I'm sure you've heard in the news lately. We're going to continue to cover it, but just a little bit of light there for you. Couldn't find that more funny. Something tells me he's going to be throwing that up very, very shortly after the cameras were stopped rolling, because that did not look good. Moving on in the news, we've got train wrecks. Well, I guess speaking of things that are disgusting and not able to be stomached, Ilhan Omar has also made the news cycle, talking about the fraud in Minnesota, and she blames everybody else, also says, well, the Somalis are victims. I know there's a large quantity of many people in the Somali community that have been charged with crimes, but we're the victim. Don't believe me? Hear from the horse's mouth herself. Here's Ilhan Omar.
So this was, just for our audience, the Biden-era Justice Department called it the largest COVID fraud scheme in the country. And this was pocketing COVID-era welfare funds, more than $1 billion in taxpayer money that was stolen. It was pretty shocking. Of the 87 people charged, all but 8 are of Somali descent. And that has added to the spotlight being put specifically on your community. Why do you think this fraud was allowed to get so widespread?
Well, I want to say, this also has an impact on Somalis because we are also taxpayers in Minnesota. We also could have benefited from the program and the money that was stolen. And so it's been really frustrating for people to not acknowledge the fact that we're also as Minnesotans, as taxpayers, really upset and angry about the fraud that has occurred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. That's all I'm going to say about that. Also, you notice that she has become a professional here in the U.S. with not answering questions and, and then turning it around, making it seem like, oh, the Somalis are the victims here. 80 people of Somali descent that should not be here in the first place, all convicted already of committing crimes within the Feeding Our Future scandal, along the there's welfare fraud going on. There's all kinds of fraud going on within the handicapped communities, that services that were supposed to have been rendered, meals that were supposed to have been provided that never was. And, the government's just paying for it all. Actually, you and I paying for it all to the tune of billions of dollars. Yes, billions with a B. And from what I'm hearing and the reports out of Minnesota, if you were to say anything, there were some whistleblowers like, what's going on here, trying to bubble everything up, and, oh, we can't say nothing. We don't want to look racist. We don't want to look sexist. We don't want to do anything to trouble anybody. We want to stay in power. We are getting kickbacks, it seems, in the political realm of things. More to come on that. I just wanted to play one more clip from you. Here's Ilhan Omar just making us a little bit more disgusted with her and her Somali friends.
Treasury Secretary just now talked about a link to terrorism, a possible link. He said they're just now beginning to look into it. How confident are you that that's a false claim?
I'm pretty confident at the moment because there are people who have been prosecuted and who have been sentenced. If there was a linkage in that the money that they had stolen going to terrorism, then that is a failure of the FBI and our court system in not figuring that out and basically charging them with these charges. And so I do know that for many years, this sort of like
anytime somebody's talking like this, they're making shit up. And as you could tell, she was really, really sweating that one out. She did not want to answer the question. And when she got through with her made up BS, she went into blaming the FBI and the federal judicial system. And she's basically, I don't know if you could read through that like me. She was thinking, she said people were prosecuted already and charged, and there was no leakage found. I really hope there was no linkage found, and I really hope that they don't go further into anything other than what these people have been charged with, because we made sure that they wouldn't talk if they were found out, because they're going to do their time, maybe a year, maybe, we'll see. And then they get out and everybody's rich and happy and no harm done, except for America takes the brunt of it. Really, really sick of this. Really, really needs to stop. We need to stop taking in people from third world countries. Anybody who is here as a guest who commits any level of crime needs to be deported immediately. This all needs to stop. We as a country cannot sustain this type of behavior. We'll continue that at a later date as well. Speaking of train wreck people, Jasmine Crockett, back in the news. Yes, Jasmine Crockett is back in the news, and well, I will go ahead and just let you hear it from her, and then we'll talk about it a little bit on the other side.
In this moment, there are a lot of people that said, you got to stay in the house. We need our voice. We need you there. And I understand. But what we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is not only a voice, but we need to make sure that we are going to stop all the hell that is raining down on all of our people. So over the last couple of months, I've been thinking about our future. Where do we go from here? And obviously, I've been thinking about Texas.
Yes, Jasmine Crockett has announced, I'm running for the Senate, y'all! Oh, yeah! Texas, I'm running for the Senate because I lost my seat and I know I can't win it again, y'all. So I'm just going to make a big old name for myself and put myself out there as much as long as I can because I'm a narcissistic a-hole. Texas, please, let's get this woman out of politics. I did want to show you just one more clip from her little speech that she was given, just to kind of button things up on, you know, the ghetto. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. She's ghetto. And I don't think there's any other way you can put it when you listen to this.
Because of any one candidate, but because of each and every one of you doing your part. Turning Texas blue is what I want to talk to y'all about today. Now, there are those that say, ain't no way, we done tried it 50 kinds of ways.
We done tried it, y'all.
Y'all ain't never tried it the JC way.
You ain't tried it the JC way?
We used to telling us what I can't do, but they have no idea what Crockett's crew will do. And so I just want to be clear for all the haters in the back. Listen up real loud. We gonna get this thing done.
All y'all haters in the back, listen up loud. We gonna do this thing the JC way, y'all. Check it out, y'all. Texas, get out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because it does. If you let this train wreck into the Senate, I mean, you see what she's done in Congress. And, I mean, we've got some pretty questionable people in Congress. You don't have to be the smartest individual to win a little county, you know, that's drawn up to put idiots into a seat in Congress. That's happened too often. I question, you know, leaders in that regard. But to be a state senator, I mean, you also don't have to be that smart, but, you know, you do have to have a little bit, you are held a little bit to a higher standard. And people of Texas, you cannot afford this. Please, 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 even though Trump is not on the ballot, you need to get out and vote, vote, vote. All right, so from train wrecks to boat explosions. Why not? I don't know why. Just because, well, I like to see boats explode. How about you? Let's take a look. Boom! Yes. More boat strikes taking place. Yes. Nothing like just boats exploding and huge fireballs going off. Oh man, I love it. As tensions are escalating between the U.S. and Venezuela, you know, that's just my way of segueing into letting you guys know. Just today, actually, apparently the U.S. military has seized an oil tanker belonging to Venezuela on its way to Iran. That was a sanctioned act that was taking place there. And so, yes, the U.S. military has seized an oil tanker now, in addition to the boat strikes and, you know, countless warnings to, you know, the leader there. And we'll keep an eye out for you, let you know what's going on. But it seems like the tensions are escalating there, and to be continued. I do believe that we could see boots on the ground there, some land activity, and I'm not really sure of the president's end goal there. I know that the war on drugs is the thing. People are saying it's all about the oil. It's all about the oil. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? They are bringing drugs, though. I do know that. I do know Trump is somebody who wants the death to stop, whether it be war or by drugs. And by drugs, it's killing Americans, even more so close to home for him than the war overseas and whatnot. So I do believe that this is this is closer to his heart to stop the drugs, and so his war on the cartels is a real thing. He has stopped flow over the border and everything, and so naturally, if it's coming over any other kind of way, he's attacking that as well. And so good to see. It's been reported also that Venezuela has says, I will give you the oil, just stop the strikes, and stop trying to come after me. And Trump has turned it down and said, no, the strikes will continue as long as you try to continue to bring drugs into the country. And anybody doing business with you, your exports of your oil is becoming a sanctioned event, and especially as that pertains to Iran. So that appears to be what this seizure is all about. I don't believe that we are doing it to take over any of the region's oil. That is also to be continued. I'm not one to speculate and say too much about things that I really don't know anything about, because I don't believe anybody but Trump really knows, and his higher cabinet, of course, really knows in that regard. But what I'm seeing on the surface is the war on drugs is a very successful event. I hope it continues, and I like to see footage of boats blowing up in the ocean. It's quite pleasing for me to start my day with. So moving on from that, we'll keep an eye on that and then update you on that. One of my favorite podcasters coming up and inspirations for me getting going and doing my own podcast was Dan Bongino. And he was quite obsessed with the January 6th pipe bomber. If you were a fan just like me, listen to any number of his shows, you would know that he was really, really dead set before becoming the deputy director over there at FBI on finding out who this was. And he was very vocal about, there was nothing in the media even about it. Once the January 6th riots happened, partly due to undercover FBI agents in the crowd inciting violence, there was no need for, to talk about the pipe bomber. And so the media didn't cover it, didn't say anything. I mean, apparently, this pipe bomb was, just feet away from the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris at the time. And, no need to cover it because January 6th, insurrection, so on and so forth. Let's get Trump, just took over everything. And, there was no further investigation or anything. Well, I am proud to announce that due to the work of now Deputy Director Dan Bongino and Director Kash Patel and the men and women of the FBI, the pipe bomber has been found and arrested. And without further ado, we do have a story on that, and I'd like you to take a look. Here we go.
The 30-year-old Virginia man accused of planting pipe bombs at the Washington headquarters of the Democratic and Republican parties was in court today. Brian Cole Jr. was arrested yesterday after a nearly 5-year investigation. Correspondent David Spunt has our update tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, a quick court appearance this afternoon for Brian Cole Jr., telling a judge he understood the criminal charges against him. We learned from the hearing that Cole spoke to law enforcement for more than 4 hours yesterday, just hours after his arrest. In court, members of his family shouted, "We love you." Multiple sources briefed say he admitted to planting the bombs and expressed doubts about the 2020 presidential election results. That is significant, Brett, because both explosive devices were placed on January 5th, 2021, the night before the Capitol riot, the day Joe Biden was certified as the winner of the 2020 election. The U.S. attorney revealed more about what the suspect told the FBI, including the limited edition Nike shoes he allegedly wore that night.
He told us that he had those sneakers and that he got rid of them after he placed the pipe bombs.
We reached out to his attorney for comment to that, did not hear back. 1 month from today, Brett, will mark 5 years, half a decade since these pipe bombs were placed outside both the DNC and RNC headquarters in Washington. Cole is charged with transporting an explosive device and interstate commerce, as well as the attempted malicious destruction by means of explosive materials. More charges are possible. The FBI went back through the original evidence and discovered Cole's cell phone was allegedly in the area of the RNC and DNC the night of the crime. Investigators say credit card receipts show Cole purchased bomb-making materials. The 2 pipe bombs did not detonate, but could have. Investigators tell Fox if convicted, he could face up to 20 years behind bars. He will be in court for a detention hearing December 15th. Brett?
All right, so just a few things that I wanted to touch on there. Yes, 5 years in the making, and there was a cold case immediately under the previous administration. Yes, President Otto Penn, of course, didn't want to look into it, didn't want nothing to do with it. His FBI, DOJ, they just basically made the case go cold. Oh, nothing to see here. We couldn't find it. Dan Bongino comes in and they reopen the case and they find the guy. I mean, we're talking a matter of months here. It's Dan took over, and what was it, March? We're about 9 months in from whenever he took his post, and Kash Patel was just a little before that, so under a year. And I don't know if you guys heard, but all they did was go through the original findings. There was no more findings in the case needed to crack the case. They just reopened the books, went through the investigation, and was able to put all the pieces together and make the arrest. So there's actually a lot of interesting things taking place in this case. It's obviously going to be probably a long drawn out thing, and there's going to be more and more to come out. I'm sure probably take about a year to actually get the conviction, and along that time that we're going to hear more and more coming out about the story. But some weird things that I want to touch on just up front is they're saying the credit card receipts, because he did use a credit card to make purchases of bomb making material, happened couple years in the making here. So so obviously they did the whole COVID thing. That's up for discussion as well, to keep Trump out of office. The insurrection was also a means to keep Trump out of office, get him off of ballots in states, so on and so forth. We've heard the BBC remake of his statements and all that to try to make it look like he incited and all that. We all know it's BS. It's more of a Russia hoax. Oh, we got him this time. Another hoax. This is looking like the same thing. He started it a couple of years before the 2020 election. So it looked like somebody tipped him off. Hey, we're going to steal this thing, and we need to make sure that no questions are asked. So, basically, we need a plan B. We're going to try to do this insurrection thing, and if it doesn't work, then boom, to try to just push this thing through. And we all know what happened after that. You weren't able to question the election. There was a lot of fishy stuff going on. I don't know if you guys have had the chance to or even know about Dinesh D'Souza's movie, 2,000 Mules. Very, very good watch if you have not, in relation to that 2020 election. But it was clearly stolen. Clearly people in high places did not want questions asked. You couldn't question it on X or Facebook. A lot of censorship going on, especially surrounding it. A lot of fishy stuff going on there. Pipe bomber has been caught and arrested, so another cog in the case. Hopefully we can get some answers out of him. Don't know if he's talking or not. Active investigation, so we're not going to get much more out of that probably in the near future, but hopefully later some more stones are unturned, and hopefully justice brought to some really, really crooked and corrupt individuals. And finally tonight, Alina Habba steps down from New Jersey state attorney because of blue slips. In conjunction with that, James Comey and Letitia James are getting off scot-free. Nothing to see here, folks. All due to, Republicans. Republican senators, to be exact. Grassley, Thune, yes, I'm talking to you. I've been a real big advocate on this show, if you've been watching, about killing the filibuster. Maybe you've heard me say that once or twice on this program if you've been watching. I'm going to say it quite a few more times in this episode here. We need to kill the filibuster, guys. We need to get these state attorneys appointed. The only reason that these two criminals, I'm just going to say it, are getting off is because of your Republican senators. Grassley and Thune mostly are at fault for this, but I keep saying it. I would be a Republican today wholeheartedly if it wasn't for people like this who have no spine, no testicular fortitude, or any fortitude otherwise if you're not a male. So I won't exclude the women in this. Just a bunch of BS that this is taking place. We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with this president. We have the House. We have the Senate. And we've already wasted almost a year into his term, and we're not getting anything done because these Democrats are just blocking everything. And this talk about blue slips, if you don't know what it is, it's just a gentleman's agreement that if there is a Democrat senator in a state that they're trying to appoint a judge or a state attorney, if there's one Democrat senator that can block that appointment, and they are doing that in every blue state. Also, there's a lot of fraud happening in a lot of these blue states, and we're not going to be able to prosecute anybody in those blue states. A little bit more to come on that as more and more is uncovered due to the Minnesota thing. But we must kill this filibuster. We must get some things through, get some more judges appointed for Trump, get some more, a lot of state attorneys. They're only being appointed for 3 months and then they're out, and he's being forced to find somebody else. And these people can't prosecute properly because of it. And it can all be just at the snap of a finger from Grassley and Thune can make these appointments go through. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're going through this. And, you know, a little bit more about this from, well, President Trump himself.
Yeah, Alina Habba says she's stepping down as U.S. Attorney for the District of New Jersey after the courts disqualified her. Do you have any comment on that?
Well, she's not disqualified. You've got a blue slip thing that's horrible. It's a horrible thing. It makes it impossible to appoint a judge or a U.S. Attorney, and it's a shame. And the Republicans should be ashamed of themselves that they allow this to go on, because I can't appoint a U.S. Attorney that's not a Democrat. Because they put a block on it. So if you appoint in Virginia or in New Jersey or in California a U.S. attorney or a judge, I mean, a judge situation is ridiculous. The only people that you can get by are Democrats, because they will put a hold on it. If I put up George Washington and Abraham Lincoln to be U.S. attorney in New Jersey or to be U.S. attorney in Virginia, we have Democrat senators. They will not approve them. And this is a gentleman's agreement that's lasted for too long. And it doesn't make it, especially in light of what's going on today. It means you can't appoint a Republican U.S. attorney. And we don't play the same game with them. But they do. And I hope that somebody speaks to Senator Grassley about doing something about the blue slip, because I'm telling you, John, I put up great people, top people, highest education, the best lawyers to be like U.S. attorney, and both senators. It only takes one, but if they're Democrat senators, they say we're not going to approve it. I had a couple of them say, "Why don't you appoint Democrats?" All because Senator Grassley, with his blue slip stuff, will not let anybody go by. By the way, the Democrats have violated the blue slip provision on numerous occasions. Yep. But we don't do it. And what it means is, I guess I just have to keep appointing people for 3 months and then just appoint another one. And it's a very sad situation. We're losing a lot of great people. We have about 7 U.S. attorneys who are not going to be able to keep their jobs much longer because of the blue slip. Because unless, I think I know why they did that, to protect their ass. Okay, that's why they did that. But it should be done away with. I want to be able to appoint the most highly educated, the most respected people. They can't keep their jobs because of the blue slips.
Yep. So there you heard it from the man himself. I've been talking about it for weeks. Like I said, once they shut the government down, he held his speech the next day saying, you guys got to kill the filibuster. We got to get stuff done. They're going to keep blocking us and blocking us. We're not going to get anything done that was mandated by the people from this election. And, you know, we're seeing that, and we're doing nothing but wasting time. And like I said, we're already a year done. We're a year away from midterms. This is scary stuff. And, you know, if we don't get anything done with this administration having the House and the Senate, what makes you think that they're going to that the voters are going to let them off the hook? They're not. They're going to go a different way. We've seen it time and time again. If we get fed up. You know, I mean, I'm an American as well. You know, we see 8 years of this administration. They come in, they don't do nothing for us. And then we're like, okay, well, let's try the other side. And then, you know, it goes flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. We have a real golden opportunity here. This president is going to push through America first. And he will sign off on anything that is America first. But we need to be able to get things through the House and the Senate. And we need to kill the filibuster and get these things done. And more importantly is the prosecution side of things. And we need these U.S. attorneys appointed and these judges appointed in order to get these prosecutions done. Or you're just going to lose faith in the American people right now. I mean, we came in on a very, very high wave at the beginning of the year. Trump has been working his tail off, getting a lot of stuff done, trade deals, tax cuts. I mean, you name it. This man has been hard at work, getting mineral deals done, ending wars. I mean, this guy's been hard at work, and he's still trying to do things here and get criminals and, just corrupt people in our government prosecuted. There's also a lot of blue states that won't turn over their SNAP records as been requested. These things can be forced, but these U.S. attorneys and these judges need to be appointed for that to happen. And we know that's not going to happen in these blue states if we don't get these people appointed. And it's these freaking Republicans. I can't tell you how frustrated I am. I mean, it's decades of this, but we just have such a golden opportunity right now, and they're letting it flounder, and time is passing, and I wish I could say I had hope in them, but I just don't. Please prove me wrong. That's all I got to say. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Please hit the like button if you like the content that you see. Send me some comments. I like to read all you guys' comments. If you want to hear me talk about anything I'm not covering, let me know. And please subscribe to the show. Do it now. Takes 2 seconds. Hit the subscribe button right now. And please remember to share the show with your friends, family, anybody who will listen. Like I said, go make a friend with your neighbor. Tell them about the show. Talk about it. Until next time, thank you all for joining me. We'll see you then.